Hello and welcome. Welcome back to CPR's Clubhouse Live. My name is CPR Jose Ortiz, and this week for me is fanboy country. Um, Joining me right now is someone that I consider. I mean, she didn't tell me to call her this. I call her this here on my radio show. To me, she is the Queen of Canadian Freestyle. We have Elissa
Thank you.
joining us right now on
Thank you,
CPR's
Jose.
Clubhouse Live.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy and excited to be here with you and with everybody tonight. So thanks for having me.
It was interesting that I got a message from you
Yeah.
on social media because I've messaged you in different parts, right? Trying to get you on my show for so many years, and maybe I missed you somehow, but it was like divine intervention when you contacted me. I'm like, it's Elisa, and it was immediate to me. And let me explain. I say you're the queen of Canadian freestyle because you are one that has always written most of your songs. You are one that have had the best production,
Thank you.
best vocals, songs that still to me are classics and get stuck to me. It's part of the beginnings of my show. In the last episode, we talked about how Viper,
Yeah.
Seven Records, and Deneen, they influenced my radio show when I first started. But also when Tiamo Records and Elissa, I heard her on volumes number 2 and so forth.
Yeah.
When I first heard Something in My Heart, I don't
Yeah.
know what was it about that song. I think it's the emotion you show in the song because you really are just like the writing is amazing, but the way that you go with the song and the way your voice sounds like this plight, this need for love in the middle of the song, to me it just endeared me to that song, and to this day is one of my favorites from your catalog. And
Thank
believe you, I
you.
have many.
Thank
But
you. Thank you.
let's go back to 1996. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
It's
I
been
was
way
I was a baby. I was a baby. Like
yes,
honestly, I was a fan of we were speaking about him, but I was a fan of Joey. And at the
yes,
time, he is what was oh my gosh, my hair's in my okay. Well, he was on basically what we were hearing here on Tiamo Records.
hmm
As long as he used to be known as Intonation, featuring
yes,
Joy at the time, and then they had a female artist, Chrissy, on the
yes.
label.
Free my love.
Feel My Love. And then he also had this artist Manuela. To me,
Yes,
she's like the soul of the beginning steps
yes,
of. So I mean, I came from a place, I have an older sibling, he used to DJ. I'm still surrounded by DJs. It was like it was meant to happen, meant to be.
yes.
And this is what I was hearing. And then basically by fate, I was able to meet the team behind those records. And that was the first record I cut with them. I was a baby, like fresh out of high school, and I used to write a lot, and a lot of them were based on freestyle records I was listening to prior, not
Yes.
just the Canadian stuff,
Mhm.
Americans. Like I still am. He probably thinks I'm like stalker number one because I've never met him, but I've spoken to him before. George Lamont to
Yeah.
me was like I have a lot of family in New York City, like upstate, Queens. Like so, we used to take family trips every year, and I'd be listening to George Lamont like all the way there, all the way back, kind of thing.
Yes.
You know?
And you can see the George Lamont influence in
Yeah.
Tiamo Records, right? So Manuela, you can hear
Yeah.
some of the Bad of the Heart and Who You Foolin' and some of the other songs that she
Yeah, that
recorded.
was just like
Yeah, and then they moved on with Planet Rock and Intonation featuring Joey, Died in Your Arms Tonight, and all the other songs. But
yeah,
also there was influence in your music when it came to George Lamont because you did do your rendition of Without You
I did.
uh,
I didn't do it justice, I don't think,
many
but I
years
did it
later.
because I loved it so much. I think
Yes.
for me it was more because I just loved him so much I had to do something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, for
To
sure.
us, to us, he is the quote unquote king, right? In Canada, Joey is the king of Canadian freestyle, and
Yeah,
I know
for
all
sure.
these different titles, all these kingdoms, but these are the people that I see that are the top tier of their area. So
Yeah.
for me, if you're coming from Canada, the top tier in Canada is Intonation featuring Joey
Yeah. So
and
He's just Joey now. But
yeah,
I'm like
yeah,
we don't but yes,
yes.
for sure.
And we have Elissa, and I just heard a project that Joey produced. So
Hmm.
you have Intonation featuring Joey, Down in Your Arms Tonight, and
Yeah.
then we celebrated 40 years of the Planet Rock beat, and
Yeah.
then he introduced a group called AP3, just the
Yeah.
same, and he
Yeah, the
did a
good
mix to
friends.
that.
I'm good friends with them. He did a remix. That's right.
Yes, which
That's
I
right.
love. I
Mm-hmm.
think that intonation or Joey did a
Joey,
great
yeah.
job when it came to the AP3 just the same. I
Yeah.
think that he made the planet rock from bearable for me because
Yeah.
when it comes to Canada, Canada is oversaturated with the planet rock beat, and there's many people that used it trying to get a hit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the only ones that did it well to me are Joey, yourself, and just
Thank
a
you.
choice few others. But the fact that he came full circle
Yeah.
and did a Joey intonation type remix
Remix.
to
Yeah.
AP3 is
Yeah,
amazing. And
he's super talented. I mean, I think, like I said, there are many artists, and that I respect, and God bless. I'm friends with a lot of them from here.
yes,
Chris Phillips being one of them with his wife, Kathy.
Alexa,
Like I love them to
Alexia
death, and
Phillips.
Alexis, the sister. Yeah, the sister. So, but like I think for most of us, the ones that have been successful, because I know Chris was doing stuff for Little Susie. I was blessed to write a song for Little Susie. I know her very well as well. I love her to death. But like I think for most of us, that's what it is. You have to understand where the music came from,
Right,
the history of the music, and the love for the music, And I think what the problem is, I mean, nobody hate me for saying this, but like, I think what's happening is with the newer generation, they're just like listening to some beats and they're thinking, well, I can do this,
right.
but the feeling is there. My the stories are missing, the
Yes,
love and what you're hearing from a vocal. One of my favorite artists in the U.S. and I can listen to her sing for hours. Cynthia Figueroa, one
oh
of my
wow,
favorite. Just because of what I hear, I'm one to listen to the beats, but then when I'm listening to melodies and the way the voice is coming out and stuff, I'm a huge fan. And I think people don't have that same emotion anymore when they're singing it, let alone writing it and then doing these beats. I struggled. Like I'm here to, promote obviously my new record, and I
yes,
struggled because the people that did my music are no longer doing it right now, and some of the people that I have done tracks with, like Chris and stuff, they've moved to California, and everybody has their life. You move on, and believe it or not, this track came from myself and my husband. My husband. And we're like, this is a new beat, a new thing for us because I've been in the studio. I've written my tracks, melody. I've done mix downs and stuff. But don't ask me to produce a song because I can't.
right.
I can tell you what's good or what I like. And it was tricky, but God bless him too for being behind me. He's a DJ at heart, and we both at one point worked for an entertainment company. So thank God because I don't know I would have what I would have done. It's one thing to put out music, but it's another thing to put out something you believe in
Yes,
and something that you feel. And when we mix this track is new, like when I mixed this thing down a couple weeks ago and I left the studio, again, you're gonna hear me say I had a lot of like overwhelming moments, and it
yes,
was one of them because I thought, oh, thank goodness we did it. Like I
yes,
felt it. And
mhm,
and I think the problem with the newer stuff is that people just aren't getting where the heart of the music comes from. I think
yes.
the
And,
freestyle
and
genre in
ever since
general.
I heard you 26 years ago, I've only heard
What? What? 2
26
years
years ago.
ago? Oh,
20,
okay.
26,
Oh my
26 years
gosh.
ago.
Yeah.
All I hear was heart. I hear heart, passion. In songs like something in my heart.
Yeah.
Some of my favorites, "Say Goodbye,"
Yeah.
1999. We go. One of my favorites, and I think the one that I can listen from beginning to end is "Who's Crying Now," the
Yeah.
extended mix. I
Yeah.
need to hear the extended mix of that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I love the production.
It's one of my favorites.
I love the progressive planet rock in it, but I also love your voice. And again, it's the passion and the plight, the issue of the song. You could
Yeah.
hear what she's going through. And now with your new song, "Now You're Gone," which is going to be released soon, you're bringing some of that flavor back and some of that
Yeah.
passion back into
It
your
was a
music.
relief. It really was because Vinnie Mac, he did like Back to Me, Who's Crying Now. We did a few other tracks and some dance records.
Mhm.
Like I said, right now is just not a good time to be producing. And
Right.
good friend miss him to death. So it's like, what do you do? What do you do when you know what you're looking for, but you can't really get it done the way you want? It's
Mhm.
tricky because
Well,
what things were like 10 years ago are not the same now. And
yes.
we were able to recreate that vibe, and yeah, like I said, it's a relief. I'm so excited. I'm beyond excited.
And you've
So
also connected with Destune Records. Talk to me
yeah.
about that partnership.
So I have been friends with the promotional what do we call him? Let's call him promotional manager, John
Yeah.
Pito. I've I've known Pito. I'm just gonna call him Pito. I've known Pito from the beginning. Okay, so like we're going back like MySpace and stuff where, and I think MySpace was a cool window to it opened up because I was able to connect with
Yes.
a lot of freestyle promoters,
Mhm.
producers, fans. So we've been friends forever. So he was one that's always been there, bugging me through the years. When are you gonna do another one? When are you gonna do another one? And so I was in search of a team to work with. Um, but like I said, I just needed that feeling. So when we started this project, I reached out and I said, George, he owns the label, is George down to do something together? And it was quite simple. To me, they're like family.
Mhm.
So it was a really easy decision. And so we basically are tag teaming this release. I'm going to be honest. I first did it because I just wanted to do a freestyle record. I missed it so much.
Yes, we missed you too.
And thank you. But that's what I was like seriously saying to them, going back to being overwhelmed and greatly humbled for the response because I just posted a clip. It was just the chorus. I thought let's just put it out there until we're ready to share a little bit more. And I'm talking it's within days. People were like, "We want it on our mix show. Can we play it here? Can we play?" And I was just like, "What is happening?" And my days have been consumed with promoting this record. And now because I know so many believe in it and in the project, I'm gonna do my best to get it out there to everybody. And
Well, it's because all you have to say is a brand new freestyle song from Elissa, and
yeah.
all you have to say is "Say No More."
But
Just
see,
give it
like
to me.
on my end, this is what's crazy. So I partied till I was, late in age, and then
Mhm.
I'd mentioned this. I have two little boys. One is turning 3, one is 4. Like they're babies. But
Mhm.
when I, had them, you go from music party, music party, to all of
Mhm.
a sudden everything stops, and
Yes.
you kind of lose yourself in the mix, or even just to find the time to write and do this stuff. So I honestly was not expecting this. I said to my husband, I feel like everyone was waiting for this
Yes.
record. And like I said, you're gonna make me I think I'm gonna cry like 5 times on here, but I am beyond like there's no words to explain how I feel right now. The support I'm getting from everybody. I was so excited for the interview today, and
Mhm.
thank you for having me on here. It's
And
it's
listen,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
when you inbox me and it's like
Yeah.
Elisa wants to send you a message, I'm like, how do I? What do I do? And then I was like, hey, you want to come on and do an interview? And you're like,
Yeah.
and then she's like, would you like me to send you my bio? And what did I tell you?
Well, that's what I mean. And your answer, everybody, his answer was, I don't need a bio. I've been following you from something in my heart. And I knew that was my first record.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know that, but I knew that. And that's what I'm saying. I went to I went to my husband and I said, what is happening? Like, and like I said, it
And
just
you built a cult following in my New England area.
yeah.
In 1999, you had songs in Freestyle Mania, and
Yeah.
you had a song called "Say Goodbye," which
Yeah.
people there were cars in downtown Springfield playing
That's
this song and
crazy.
playing Tamara, "Never Gonna Let You Go." These two
Yeah.
songs,
Yeah.
and then you would have people call for Dime Adios, the Spanish version of Say
Yeah.
Goodbye, and Emi Sueños, which to me was like I listened to you sing Emi Sueños, and I'm like, I love this song so much, but it
Where'd it
reminded
come
me of
from?
something else. And for
Yeah.
weeks, I'm like, what is this song? And I'm like, it's a remake of the party, but she did it in Spanish. And let me tell you the light bulbs that went off when I figured it out back then.
Yeah.
But we appreciate your music, and we've been playing your music all along. Our
Thank you.
radio station has been on for 30 years,
Yeah.
playing freestyle every week for 6 hours. So you've never left our airwaves. And so there's a time and place for me to play freestyle, and there's a time for me to play the Canadian
Yeah.
contingency, is what I call them. But we talk about the history of Canadian freestyle. We talk about Joey. We talk
Yep.
about Elisa, the two top tiers, Manuela. We
Yes.
talk about Chris and Alexia Phillips. We talk
Yeah.
about Kathy Phillips. And there's a few more that you can add to the
Well, and
list.
we were all connected to Metropolitan at one
Yes.
point, before the label, like, right? And
Yeah.
that was a big deal for me. Like I said, I was straight out of high school, and then the first record that hit and bubbled under Billboard for me was Show Me How You Love Me. So we
Yes.
did shows in California, did shows in Texas. Um, it was a big deal for me, to be able to do that.
I'm sure that now people that are watching from Texas, if they knew that you were ready to get back out there, they would
Yeah.
book you in a minute to have you there.
Guys, I'm
Because
down. I'll take a
the
trip
sound,
anytime.
the
Yeah.
sound that you have is a sound that they love, and it's
Yeah.
like time stood still in some parts of the country,
Yeah.
and some parts of the world. Time stood still. In Brazil, the Planet Rock beat is celebrated.
They're
So
still they're still playing
yes.
like again, this week was a week of reflection for me. It
Mhm,
really was. And I was going through some of my here it's called SOCAN, I guess, like your ASCAP or your
mhm,
BMI. And it shows me what's still getting played. And that's what we saw in Brazil, because I had some releases under a label there, and they're
yes,
still playing back to me. I'm still getting airplay because I can clearly see it.
mhm.
And it's amazing, it's amazing of Brazil, right?
The sounds that would come out of your music, it
Yeah.
was futuristic, it was ahead of its time, so now
Yeah.
it fits right in. And especially like back to me, I still remember the
What has the Alice DJ riff in there that are
yeah, I mean,
off alone. So because Eurodance here was so that's I mean that's what the connection was. It was bringing the stuff we loved into the freestyle music. And it
mhm,
didn't work for everybody. I mean, some of these remixes we're doing now for Now You're Gone, I get it. Some
mhm,
people don't. They prefer more of that Latin,
mhm.
low. Like the first thing Destune said to me was, "You realize this is 132 BPM?" And I said, "Yeah." But that's what I do.
Yes.
I can't slow it down. What? I'm like, I can't slow it down.
Yeah, but
And
they're gonna
that's
love you.
me,
They're gonna
you
love you
know,
in Detroit because
you know.
Detroit loves fast.
Yeah.
So it's just the genesis of freestyle started with the Planet Rock beat, hip hop in New York City, and
Yeah.
then it turned into this phenomenon where they have different variations of freestyle. They have
Yes. So
they
we
have
want to
the
give that,
Italian
if we
they have the
can.
Italian American connection with Viper
Yeah.
Seven and Deneen
Yeah.
and Caporali. They have the Canadian part of it, which is sped up, still has that Planet Rock influence,
Yeah.
and it has that Euro sound connected to it. So everybody spun it in a way. If you're from New York, it has a hip hop, it has loops, it has a break beat, it has an outro, intro,
Yeah.
and everybody follows those same parameters, but they add their own style to it. So that's why
Yes.
I can hear Who's Crying Now and listen to the entire thing, because it's not hardcore freestyle, it's
No.
hardcore European freestyle, but the beats are hard,
Yeah.
and even though it's fast paced, you carry the song with your vocals, the writing, and the passion that you show
Thank
to the
you.
entire
Yeah.
thing. There's one thing that I can say about you: you never took a song for granted. It wasn't like you never left your all into that specific song. Like there was no walkthrough when it came to you. You went in there, you put your vocal down, you put your backgrounds, ad libs,
Yeah.
your every verse that you wrote meant something. There's a story in all your music, and that's why you're so well respected.
Thank you.
And that's why I call you the queen. I know all
Thank you.
respects to Alexia and Manuela, and whoever comes, the Zoes and whoever comes from Canada. But to me, just top tier stuff coming from you. And I say that to you here I'm a fan for 26 years. And a person that's been wanting to have you on a
Yeah.
one-on-one interview for a long time. I just want to make sure you understand that.
Yes. So you're
In,
not gonna let me forget either.
no,
But you
no.
know what? There's maybe things are meant to happen. Believe in that, right? Things are meant to happen when they're meant to happen. Again, I'd be honest with you. If I saw those messages, I promise you, I would have did it in a heart. Like I'm trying to remember now, but I'm like, I'm not
No,
the
I
biggest
think I
Facebook
think too you were
person,
so
right?
busy at the time because you had
Yeah.
international hits. You had Bailando in '98, Mamboleo in
Yeah.
'99. You had like chart-topping dance songs that were away from freestyle. It wasn't like it was just freestyle strictly what you were doing.
Yeah.
You were doing Euro, you were doing
I'm
dance.
still doing it. I have another
Yeah.
track coming out shortly with the DJ producer DJ Laza. He had an Italian hit called Julia,
Mhm.
and we're that's ready to go in the next few weeks as well. Because now I'm like I'm full in. If I'm back, I'm back. I don't want to
Yeah.
like go backwards anymore. After I feel like I lost myself,
Mhm.
it's a good feeling to find yourself again. So there's
Are
no
you
going back.
are you still in Toronto?
Yes, I am. I mean, I live more northern, but yeah, we'll call it Toronto. Yeah.
We're going somewhere in
Yeah.
Toronto. Yeah.
So,
And this is amazing. Like to have you from Toronto on the show to me is the epitome of the reason why I put the show together to
yeah.
connect with artists that I've played throughout my career. And because I'm going almost since I was 17. When I got to college, I took communications. I needed to have
Yeah.
my own radio show. I needed to mimic the show that was on, the one that I took over years later. But it's just amazing to see some of your heroes, right? Some of the people that you listen to. And so I told you this would be like a mark kind of marking out type episode where I'm gonna be praising you to the entire thing, and people are like, "Man, knock it off!"
Listen to this guy.
Yeah. So, but it's because again, like I have the catalog of music that means so much. To me, Forever Love, like
Yeah.
that was such a
But
cool
like
song.
when I listen back to those though, like this is me on a like I'm gonna butcher my own songs, but some that like I said, everyone when I do shows here, I always do like Back to Me, Who's Crying Now. Then I mix it in with the Euro stuff because
Mhm.
it was very well known here. And I get like, am I allowed to swear? I won't swear. I get
Yeah.
yelled at. Let's make it polite because I don't sing "Show Me How You Love Me." But I'm like,
Mhm.
it's for me. If you compare like again the BPM of this track to like what I'm doing now, it's really hard to do on stage. Like you get
Yes.
like it's just but like I get yelled at and Forever Love is another one of those, right?
Mhm.
They're very similar in style, very similar and they were written around the same time as well.
Yes.
Um but it's like crazy. It's crazy. I can't like I won't like if you see me perform I probably won't perform that song.
Mhm.
But I get yelled at by the hardcore fans that love it so much and I almost feel guilty, but just
We're
really
gonna have
hard to do.
we're gonna have to do Elissa unplugged.
Yes,
Guitar
sure.
and
That'd be cool. How do you
bands.
even do that?
Yeah,
How do you even do
it's
that?
just gonna be so cool. So cool. Now, you have the Now You're Gone,
Yeah,
and you're doing this thing that's brilliant, which is you're servicing the DJ first,
yeah.
and then little by little earning an audience here, earning an audience there.
It's
Um,
we weren't expecting. I'm gonna be honest. I honestly was not
mhm.
expecting this response. I
Well,
was not.
the
So
the reason why I praise this is because like the new generation
yeah,
needs to learn from the generation that preceded them, and that is that they have to find these ways of marketing themselves in a
yeah.
positive manner. And you felt like you're in Toronto. How am I going to get this stuff out there? Look how easy it is
It's
for
been
you.
years. I mean, I used to have like again with Tiamo, then became Music Network. We worked as a team. I used to have management here together, and then back in the day, we also had record labels that were putting out CDs and stuff.
Right.
And it's been so long that things have changed so drastically. It's like the people are the same, but what do you do?
Yes,
And
I have
you
every
take
single
different
CD.
angles.
I have every
Yeah,
single CD of Tiamo. It's here. I
yeah.
took the CD and I went to my iTunes and I pull all the songs and then I just store away the CD. So those are to me those are treasures, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Those are timeless treasures. To
Same
have the
here.
Tiamo
Same
Freestyle
here.
Collection, Volume 1, 2, 3. And just keep going. Free the Power one, Tiamo
Yeah.
Freestyle
I had
Power.
like a flower and I
Yeah,
remember it all. Yeah.
yeah.
And we were lucky because our
They should
station
charge three.
here,
They should charge $3,000 for that type of
oh my God.
graphic, right?
Like, right? But like our station here, Z103, and they used to put out Tony Monaco's as the main,
Yes,
like he's the freestyle supporter number one, especially
yes,
like in Canada. I wouldn't even say Toronto. And we used to do CDs here too. Freestyle Heaven, uh,
yes. I have
Freestyle
those.
Frenzy, which was the name
Yes.
of his show. And like I said, it was so we were talking about this the other day. I mean, the show has been like it hasn't been on the air, but he's been doing special editions every few
Mhm.
months and you don't realize how much you miss
Yes.
the program, even just getting the like he was mentioning the calls he's been getting and stuff like that. I'm doing a huge show here. I mean, it's big for us.
Mhm.
On the 24th it's Stevie B, which I've done many shows with him, Trinier, Cover Girls. I'm so excited because I don't
Mhm.
even think they've been here ever.
Right.
Little Susie, which I'm excited because I haven't seen her in years, Raquel and myself and Joey's
Mhm.
on the bill. And you don't understand, the tickets are like hot commodity right now. And the radio station's giving like people are contacting me and I'm like, sorry man, I don't have no tickets. But I'm
Mhm.
so excited to do this show with everyone. because it just doesn't happen here anymore the
And
way
it's
it
two
used to be.
generations. It's two
Yeah,
generations. It's the generation before and the generation after.
yeah,
And it's respect, mutual respect. You guys earned those spots. You know, the
yeah,
reason why they call Elissa and Joey is because they were the top tier, top artists in that country.
era. Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and in the era as well. So it's a great respect to see that you're on the same bill and
yeah.
that
We would do
the
shows
same.
all the time. He's like fan.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm lucky because the bulk of the freestyle community here, and I wrote a lot of songs. You had mentioned Tamara. I'm on the background of that
Yes,
song. That's me and singing her harmonies and stuff in the back of that track.
I'm aware.
Um,
I'm
and
so
then
aware.
I wrote
Yeah.
I wrote the next song for her as well. She did a Euro song, and I wrote in that time period. I wrote the bulk of what was coming out of Toronto, basically for other artists. But
Yes.
it was the love for the music and the love for being able to share it. How many of my songs can you play at one time? You can't, right? So I was open to sharing the love with everyone to see, other people succeed as well. Um, Again, it's a little trickier these days, right? But it was a good time. I can't complain. Like it was a really good
Out of your
time.
entire freestyle catalog that you have,
Yep.
what is your favorite song for your entire freestyle catalog?
Easily back to me. Back to
Yeah.
me. Yeah. I love
And,
singing it live. I love listening to it.
yeah.
Yeah. Who's Crying Now is right behind it though.
Yeah.
Everything I love the hardness of Who's Crying
Yes.
Now. It just pounds. I did a few after. I also did a cover of yeah, I think those are the only pretty much the only two covers, but I did a cover of Stephanie Bennett's Back from My Love. And the
Yes.
reason I did that one is cuz again, loved her record so much. I just had to do it. It was one of those for no
Yeah.
rhyme or reason. I just did it because
Yeah.
I loved that
Paradigm.
the Paradigm record so
Yeah.
much. I burned a hole in that CD.
It's
How
the
many times
greatest.
I played it.
It to me is the greatest progressive freestyle song of all time.
Yeah.
2000, 1999 when that song was released. To me, it's still my favorite song. Like
Yeah.
I
I'm a,
have the
I'm a huge
vinyl.
fan to this
Yeah.
day. Stephanie's voice. And those are the things I listen to. And
Mm.
like, it's what comes out of again, the music matters for me. But I think that's why I love George Lamont so much.
Yes.
Uh, I believe I had, it was a cassette tape of it. It's Always You. Is that the name of the song?
Yes.
If you could read my mind. I used to listen to the acapella. I
Yes.
wasn't even listening to, and I just would listen to it over and over again, and just
He
listen to "It's
George
Always
Lamont.
You." Like I
Yeah, I
was just
love it.
listening to all that,
It's
and that's
amazing.
what I would do. Like
Yes.
how, like it's crazy. I wouldn't even listen to the music, just
There's an ongoing
his
joke between
voice.
George Lamont and I that if he sings one of his songs, "What Does
Yeah,
That Leave Love," which is my
yeah,
favorite, that I start getting teary eyed and misty eyed, and he'll joke on me all day about it. But
yeah,
it's a running joke. Don't start crying, things like that. But
yeah.
uh,
But it's what
he's
you
just the
said.
best.
It's gotta hit you, man. Like
Mhm.
it doesn't hit you, something's missing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like just again, I'm not here to talk negative, but there's stuff like I listen to some stuff and I'm just like, what is happening? Or the beat comes in and you're like, okay, this is not bad. And then the singer kicks in and you're just like, what's happened? Like,
It's not like when I first heard "Something in My Heart," because
yeah.
in the beginning it's
But
like
that was a scared little girl singing that record.
right.
To be honest, I think there's a confidence difference
Mhm.
if you listen to some of the vocals back then and you listen because it's growth, right? As you go.
Yes.
But I was a scared little girl. They
But
recorded me
but
in a
to me,
closet. A closet. I wasn't even in a recording studio
I
when
know
I
you
did
can
that.
hear the vulnerability though. Can you
Yeah.
hear my? It was just like I,
Yeah.
I just loved it, and then to the whole entire thing, like you're just like singing this song, and of course
Yeah.
we're gonna have to play a clip of it, but it's just
Okay.
amazing. It's just an amazing
Yeah.
song. It's again one of my favorite songs from an entire era of Tiamo.
Yeah.
And so talk to me about where do you see yourself going now that you're back? Do you want to, you know, go tour? Do you want to put an album together? What do you want to do?
I know we did talk about doing an album. My husband's now all excited, so he's like ready for like, okay, what do we do next? And he's like, again, he's got a DJ background.
Yeah.
We have a music background, both of us in that degree, but this is new to him. So I'm like, slow down, because I still have my day to day. It's hard, but shows I've been doing local shows.
Hmm.
I have been doing nonstop. It has never stopped. I even did a show 5 months pregnant. Actually,
Wow.
Stevie was on that bill. Who's there? Stevie was on that bill. It was a mix. And I was 5 months with my first son. When I got up on stage, I was like, what am I doing? It was exciting until I got up there, but I was like, I don't know how I got through, but I did. But I never
Amazing.
stopped. I never stopped. I mean, as far as performances. So I'm down. I'm down. If I can get back out there and see some of the fans and the hardcore fans. I think that's the best part of it, to be honest. I'm the type of person, I do my show and I like to walk through wherever I am, the crowd. I want
And
people
you
to
know
come
what?
up to me,
Let's
you
stop
know?
right there for a moment,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of people that don't have the background that you have, that now don't want people touching them, talking to them,
Yeah.
don't want anything to do with them. And it's like, but the reason why they're here
Yeah.
is for that connection
Yes.
with the artist. And I'm
And then
glad
you hear
that
stories. I love listening to, like I said, like you're sitting here telling me things like, oh, in 19, I used to listen to, or where you're telling me, who was listening.
Mhm.
Like, you learn things because there's things that I'm not fully aware of, obviously, and what's happened or the influence my music has brought to others. And if you don't speak to the fans, like, how do you learn? You don't. And it becomes more meaningful, 100% more meaningful when you hear these stories. You know how I had a girl reach out to me last week. Um, I hope she doesn't. I don't know her personally, so I guess we won't say a name. It doesn't matter. But she said she was going through a divorce, and she was a huge fan. And Back to Me had come back on the radio while she was, I don't know, cleaning her house or
Mhm.
something. And she said it totally changed her mood. It reminded her of back in the day. She
Yeah,
was listening to the words, and if you listen to the words, that's basically it. I'm telling the dude, like, what the hell are you doing to me? Like,
mhm.
and she said that it just changed her mood. And she took the minute. She goes, I hope you don't mind. I'm taking a moment. I want to write, to tell you how much I appreciate you, your music. It changed my whole day. It
Amazing.
really did. Because I can't always hear those stories, right?
Mhm.
So meeting fans and being able to say hello. Sometimes, it's a quick hello and unfortunate, but sometimes I can sit and actually listen and hear, other people's point of view, and I love it. I wouldn't change that for anything.
I think it's a testament to all the work that you put in. That's quality.
Thank you.
And by the way, big shout outs. I was trying to say big shout outs to your husband, who was a Sons of,
So this,
Sons of,
I,
Sons of Anarchy
I
fan.
had to bump rooms twice to get on this. So there's, I don't, it's not, can you see it? No, it's cut off.
No,
There's a
I
whole
can't
corner
see
of
it, but I
skulls
know
over
that you mentioned previously that he's a Sons
there.
of Anarchy fan, and so
Anything skull related is like everywhere through my house. There's
yeah,
skulls
I
everywhere.
haven't gotten into Mayans yet,
Yeah,
but I'm
we
sure that I'm
haven't
gonna,
either. Yeah,
and I'm sure
yeah,
that I will eventually. But Sons of
yeah,
Anarchy, the original, just an amazing
yeah.
show.
He's like a Sons or anything horror movie related. He's just
Yeah,
dangerous. It's like,
yeah. So we talked about your past.
yeah,
So Tiamo Records became a different label,
music
Music Network.
network. Yeah.
Yes. And are they still intact, or have they dissolved?
Not 100% sure. I think he still dabbles.
Mhm.
I know he's probably, I think, puts things online, but that's basically as far as I know for now. Anyway.
I know that my library now grew again,
Yeah.
because I don't have to go to my files. I could just put it on my Apple Music and just
Yeah.
throw the list of music. And believe you me, like the emotion is still there. Whenever I hear your voice, it catches my core, and when it catches my core, it just excites me and brings me back to when I first started, the freestyle thing. I've never taken time off from freestyle. I've been here every week since I was 17 years of age because I have a
Yeah.
passion for it.
That's amazing.
And the reason for that is because of artists like you, and the fact that you mentioned Cynthia Figueroa in the same
Yeah.
sentence and in your interview is great, because like that's another one of my favorites, right?
Yeah.
So
So many. I can go
everybody,
on and on, but
yeah, everybody who has this passion for the music, you can hear it in
yeah.
their music, in their production, in their writing. Those are the people that I'm attracted to, and the
Yes.
fact that you feel the same way, that's amazing.
See, we were me and you meant to be
Yeah,
from the start. You
yeah,
see, but it's the truth. I mean, I think that freestyle music represents that emotion. It. I mean, when it stems from more that Latin sound, that's what I think about when I think about Latin music.
right.
Romance and like pain and like heart. Like
Mhm,
you hear a good like, and that's the way it should be. I
mhm.
think. And if the passion comes out in everything between the music and the vocal, then that makes a really good freestyle record.
When I gave you homework, I think, because before we got together, you watched
Yeah.
our previous episode, the
Yeah.
Viper Seven Top Five,
I
right? So
enjoyed it so much. I was
I'm
talking
inviting
about it.
I'm inviting you to invite two of your friends so we can do
Okay.
a Tiamo Top Five.
Okay.
Because that's also important, right? You could bring your husband, bring
Yeah.
whoever you want, and we'll do a Tiamo Top Five. We'll
Okay.
bring our list in, and it'll probably be
You know
all
what?
Elisa.
No, I'm gonna make it better for you. Since you waited this whole time, don't I'm gonna say it, but I'll get it done. Since you waited this whole time, Jose, I'm gonna make a call and I'll get Joey on to do a
Nice, nice.
Tiamo top five. Okay.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Manuela, I can probably find because her daughter sings great. Like her daughter
Wow.
is unbelievable. I just haven't talked to her, so take some time to find her. But Joey, I can probably do for you, and
Yes.
we'll get on all together and do that. How about that? Better than
Elisa, I'll
friend, my
just die in your arms tonight.
Which, speaking of Joey, my favorite, believe it or not, is not even that one. It's
No, me
nothing to
either.
you.
It's
Nothing
yes.
to you.
Oh, and
Everyone freaks out when he does "Die in Your Arms" here. Everyone just like right away. And I'm thinking that's not the track I want to hear when he's singing
yeah.
live, But yeah, "Nothing to You" for me was the good one. I mean, they're all good, but like my favorite.
For me, the one that I love is called
Yeah.
"Better Than You." I'm doing
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
I'm doing
Yeah.
better than you think. Oh my God,
Girl. Yeah.
I see the sun, and all
Shining since you went away. That
oh
one.
my
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
doing better than you think, girl.
Yeah.
It's just oh my God. And
Yeah.
at the same time that I was playing that, I was playing Who's Crying Now. So it was like a Canadian double feature every time I'm on, right?
Yeah.
And
Tag
it's
team.
like it just Joey was great. I got to see him one time in Buffalo, New York, 10 years ago.
A while ago. Yeah.
And he got there, he was dressed in his suit. He came
Still
in there
does.
looking
Yeah.
like a male model, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
up there. I'm like,
Still does.
man, like, I ain't talking to him.
Still does. The
Yeah,
women love him here. I'm not
absolutely.
gonna lie. The women, young and old, like even, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He's
Super amazing. He's a
he's a
super amazing soul.
Canadian version of Suave over here, crying
Like
over me
Ricky.
Suave, you know.
Yeah.
So it's nuts.
Oh gosh. But yeah, we can maybe hook that up. I think that would be super cool. Now
Yeah,
you
that's
got me thinking
perfect.
about the Tiamo stuff, like the early stuff. The Chrissy song "Free My Love" was off the hook for me too.
Yes. I love
Yeah,
that too.
from that first
I
CD, that
was
yellow
yes.
CD. It was yellow.
Yeah, the yellow CD, and
Yeah.
then "Free My Love" was another favorite of mine.
Yeah.
Anything by Joey, "Nothing
Yeah.
to You."
His first album too. I don't know if you. I
Oh
have the
man,
first album, but that first album was like,
oh yeah, and by
yeah,
the way, "Need You in My Life" by Joey.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, it's oh man. So I already got my top five. I think I already gave it away.
We
You
just
don't even
said it.
go
Sorry,
anywhere.
Joey. You don't have to come on anymore.
It'll be Elissa and Joey list. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, he got some music coming out of your area that
Yeah.
transcends freestyle dance music. It's just love songs with
Yeah.
a high speed that just get you. Like
Yeah.
it just is. It's just a gets your heart. You both just did that to me throughout all these years, 26 years of you guys.
Yeah.
And
Like I
I
said,
can't
you were saying that not 20, so just like 2 years of us. Like 26 sounds like a lot of time.
well,
I have
it
a
is.
feeling we're probably around the same age, you and I. We won't talk
Yeah,
about it on the
yes,
camera, but
I know that. I know that. Yeah, freestyle has, but you have aged well. You look the
thank
same,
you.
right?
Thank
You
you.
haven't changed, but your music has aged well because it was so ahead of its time that now, if you place it right now in 2022,
Yeah.
it's like,
Still
what is this
works.
new music? All the young people that listen to it now will be like, what is this new music? I've never
Yeah.
heard Euro freestyle before, or Canadian freestyle, or whatever you want to call it. This influence that comes from that area, from the border
Yeah.
of Canada. You know what I mean? And it's just
I just find like the freestyle we kind of grew up listening to here was a little more upbeat. Like I'll give you an example. Speaking of George Lamont, and aside from the Latin community here, if I say George Lamont minus the freestyle fans that like let's say listen to the Tony Monaco broadcast, not a lot of people know who he is here,
right,
which to me is a big shame. A really
right,
super look at me. I'm look what's in my hand. I'm just going like this till I realize I'm playing with my kid's Nerf. Sorry.
yeah,
Like this is my life. But it's a big shame. But it was more like upbeat stuff, like Stevie B, Part of Your Body. I'm Dreaming of Love. Let the Music Play Shannon. More mainstream. I think that's what the bulk of the Canadian listenership was listening to. So
You can see that influence, Stevie B, to when you get to
yes,
the 90s, Little Susie, the Viper 7,
like
fast
if
paced
Cynthia,
music,
if I had a chance,
Canadian.
is it if
Yes.
I had a chance,
Yes.
Little Susie. That's why something like when Raquel in a Dream came out, or Raquel
Yes.
I Fell in Love, that worked here
Hmm.
because that's kind of what we do. Maybe you are correct. Maybe it's because the bulk of the music we listened to was more Eurodance, and then so when you have more of an upbeat kind of feel freestyle song, I find like maybe that's why I travel to California a lot. Because I realized like even the songs that came out of there, Jocelyn Enriquez, that kind of stuff,
Fast.
Angelina, it's all the same kind of vibe, right? And then I mean that's the reason we're doing these remixes because I want to try to be able to cater to those who don't vibe with what I do, you know, because not everyone's gonna agree with what I put out right now. It's fast or faster.
Hmm.
It does have a Yaz kind of style influence at the beginning. I like to try to change it up a bit.
Hmm.
It's a bit on the poppy side, but that whole Elisa flavor is still there. So if you
But
listen to the
that's the best
remix,
part of me doing what I do, because
yeah,
like, I tell DJs the audience doesn't tell you what they like. You tell the audience what they like,
what they
and
like. But I
and
mean,
that's
I don't know what to expect. So like the one of the remixes from Destin right now has a Latin vibe at the beginning,
mhm.
slightly. And then it
Yes,
almost sounds like a Latin house. But
yes.
then that same Yaz influence is there,
Hmm.
plus the freestyle beats. It's just a little more traditional, I
Yeah,
guess. And
Destune has always been very tropical, very
yeah, but
using
I
the
love
elements
it.
of Latin
Yeah,
sounds, and big shout outs to them. But
yeah,
every and that's Florida. That's the Florida freestyle. Like that
yeah,
tropical. Like if you hear Ike and Tito Puente doing it, it reminds
yeah,
you of Janit back in Y in 1980 something. That tropical
yeah,
conga
vibe.
beat type music.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
everybody has had their influence in freestyle, and little pockets have their versions of freestyle.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm just
I'm cool to be down for everybody,
yeah,
if I can be.
yeah, you can be, because
Yeah.
Caprice, There Goes Your Heart. I go back to that. That to
Yeah.
me was the Canadian influence in that song. And it was fast. It had great vocals. And I know some people are like, "What's Caprice? There Goes Your Heart." I
Yeah.
understand, but it was in the same progressive sound as Paradigm featuring Stephanie Better,
Yeah.
Back for My
Love
Love.
that. Yeah.
The Rock Project featuring Tina Arena.
Yeah.
Never Past Tense. These great songs that came out of that in that era, that time, in the early 2000s, late 90s. But getting back to you, I'm looking forward to your new track. Now You're Gone.
Thank you.
You don't even have to ask if I'm gonna play it. Come on.
Actually, I was gonna say to you, we when we were talking about the Spanish versions of like Dia Dios, and
Mhm.
we are doing a Spanish version for this track. And
Nice.
the reason being is because I haven't done a Spanish version for a freestyle song. So John Pito right now, he better hurry up when he sees this because he's almost done. He's
Yes.
doing my translation. I mean, I have an Italian background,
Yes.
but a Spanish love for me, like from a young age. So like, Pito's doing my translation as we speak. So don't be surprised in like a week's time or so, because I'm the one
Mm.
popping in with the mix down, that you're gonna get another translated version of the record.
I want to give you much respect on your enunciation and the way that you present your
Yeah,
Spanish versions of
thank you.
music.
It's like, but
Uh,
it's like home. I grew up listening to this
right.
kind of
So,
stuff.
so
So
if I take you back to 1999 when we played "Say Goodbye,"
yeah,
"Dile Adios" in Spanish, and we played "En Mis Sueños," those
yeah,
were those were songs that people really took to, and they
yeah.
wanted to hear those Spanish versions of the songs. And it's always great to have a Spanish version of your song, because
I just love it. Yeah,
Texas loves it. New England loves it. Connecticut loves it. Massachusetts loves it. It's just something that, if it's done right, you
yeah,
you could be on Latin festivals just because you sung it in Spanish.
yeah.
And so I just want to commend the fact that you take the time to translate
Thank
it
you.
and enunciate.
Yeah.
Unlike
Oh,
my,
that's.
unlike my
Oh, if you, I don't know if you know Jumpito, but already he's like, we're gonna do this on the phone. I was like, can you just
yeah,
let me? I said, I'll just cut it rough in my studio at home. Then you tell me give me the benefit. No, man, we're gonna do this together. I was like, okay, whatever. But
Unless,
you know what? It matters that I do it
yeah.
correctly to me,
I was
right?
gonna
So
say, I was gonna say, unlike my friend Adam Morano Collage,
yeah.
who when he did it in Spanish, I hear "Yo tengo un gato en los pantalones." I'm like, what are you saying, Adam? That's not "I'll be loving you," you know. But
You know
that's,
what though? I used to listen to that version as well. There's something
yeah,
about that version that still got you like you just
yeah.
kept listening,
I was talking
you
about
know?
the Millennium version that came out in 2000. Collage, "I'll be loving you," the Spanglish
Yeah.
mix, the
Yeah.
Tiamo. Not the he did two versions. He did a
Yeah.
collage, "I'll be loving you" with the regular beat in Spanish. That was not good. But the fancy version that he put in
Yeah.
2000, I really loved it. And the female background that he added to it,
Yeah.
and she added a verse to it.
That
I
was
love that
amazing.
version. I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
telling you, you mentioned this stuff and like I miss it so much. You
yeah.
know, I did, like I said, he actually came to Toronto and did a show with us. I can't even guess when. It was
Mhm.
quite a big show. And yeah, that was the first time I met him. I loved him. He was great. So
Yeah, and to this day he celebrated. He's one of the artists that transcended our music, that crossed
yes.
over, just like you
Yes.
guys did in Canada. Joey and
Yeah.
Elissa,
Well, I was
Elissa
watching The
were,
Viper. I watched
yeah.
that whole thing. Honestly, I was talking to Tony, like Tony Monco's a good friend of mine, and like we were talking
Big
about it
shout out going
today.
out to him. I got all
Yeah,
his
big.
compilations.
He's like he's number one, honestly. Here, he's a great friend and
Yeah.
supporter of the music for everybody, not just me.
Mm-hmm.
He's just really, and he's actually hosting the show. And but we were talking about it, and I said to him, I that podcast was unbelievable. Honestly, I enjoyed watching it.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
learned stuff even about Denis. Again, I remember the songs that, you guys were talking about your favorite top songs. I was like, oh my god, like I was listening to that too. It really brings you back, like
I
and
wanted
I'm
to do the same.
grateful.
I wanted to do the same with you and Tiamo and
Yeah,
Joey and
yeah,
whoever
we'll
you
do it.
bring
I
on.
swear, we'll do it. But
And
like it,
don't be telling me you're gonna bring Manuela. I'll be like, who you fooling?
I gotta find it. She can be like, what? Who? What? Like, but no, honestly, if it wasn't for people like you as well, like from start to finish, not just again about my music, just about the love for this type of genre music and bringing out the true love for it. Again, we can talk about people that just they want to be a part of that love, but they just don't get it, sort of thing. Um, honest good people, so thank you. I'm like I said, this is the highlight of my
It
week,
took it took a lot of work to get new music on these radio shows that I worked on. Like, first I started in a small radio station, then I moved on to the flagship where I'm on right now, 90.7. And there was a lot of resistance, don't play new music. They want to just play 80 stuff. Today's day you still get that. But to me, it's important to show people, no, there's great quality music being put out today as we speak. So I try to get the best music as possible out there. And that's why I was able to incorporate Freestyle from Canada, Elissa, to let them hear En Mis Sueños y Dile Adios, and being able to put both versions on and get people to like new freestyle music and get them to the store, Mr. Musica, the Music Center, CPR's Freestyle Factory, the stores, to go buy this stuff and keep it going. And I wish that was something that was going on right now as you speak, instead of worrying about all the online stuff, to worry about, hey, how can I collect your music, because that's
it's a
how
good
much
time. We're fortunate, I think. We're talking, I personally think from that 90s to and up to that 2000 area, like for us it kind of quieted down here. Those are like I said to my husband, you can't touch those days. You can't touch them. We're very, very lucky to have been a part of that history, I think. I really do, because
that's generation.
It's about time that something happens again, I think, personally. And we don't know where it will go, but geez, I'm fortunate, I think to have been a part of that wave of music, because it was so good.
I
And
would
that
love to
excitement
hear.
of going to the store, picking up a CD,
Yes.
waiting for that freestyle CD.
Yes.
It's not the same anymore.
I would love to hear a Tony Monaco podcast or a show like on social media, something that can bring like the top songs from his era and his broadcasts. I know that he does special shows, and I would love to hear those online as
When
well.
we
If
get
you're
him on
available.
this show too,
Yeah,
we can
bring
do
them
that.
on. Bring them
We'll
on.
do me,
It'll be
Tony,
great.
and Joey, and then we can do that. He'll give you Tiamo top 5, plus he'll add some more to that too, for
Yes,
sure.
and
But
we'll be nerdy with each other. You know, I'll be like, "How
yeah,
about
it'd be
this?" You
cool.
know, it'll be great. Well,
That'd be
Elissa,
cool.
thank you so much for taking
You're
the
very
time to
welcome.
do this interview. I can't wait to continue playing your music, whether it
Thank
be
you.
the stuff that when you graduated high school
Yeah.
back in 1996 to the stuff that you're doing now in 2022. It does span 26 years, but the fact is you are only 32, so it's really great. I mean, you really
I
held
was
on.
really young when I started.
Yes,
I was super young. Yeah.
but no, any final thoughts that you want to address the fans and the people that support you?
Honestly, guys, like I said, this past little bit has humbled me greatly. I am so thankful, and I tell everyone all the time. Like you can always write to me. Like if you guys catch me, like at Elissa Music on Instagram. Even my Facebook, I'm a bit on the slow side. Facebook's wonky.
Mhm.
You're just like sometimes it just. But
That's
like,
the reason
please,
why you haven't got back to me all these years.
Facebook. I
Well,
just
see,
find Facebook, like I have that fan page in the, but it's wonky. Like you write back to people, doesn't work. It's like,
Mhm.
but like
Yeah, you got to
if
go
you
to special
do,
features and stuff and see if there's any
but
messages.
but
You
like
might
I'll
go
write
there
to some.
today.
You
You
miss
might
them.
go there.
No, maybe it's
Yeah, you
true.
might go there today and you'll see a message from me from
From like
1998 or
1980.
something.
Oh my gosh. But like please, like honestly, any of you, like even just to say hello. It may take me some time, but I try my best. And like I said, Jose, thank you so much for the support from you're gonna, again, I get emotional. From beginning to end. It's I can't find the words. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Elissa, thank you so much. Big shout
Yeah.
outs going out to your entire family and team and
Thank you.
everyone out there in Toronto land,
Thank you.
Canada. And, just thank you so much for all the great music, for all the great writing. And I hope that this is just the beginning of your second era, your
I
second,
hope so too.
your second
I hope
breath
so too.
in our music.
I hope so too. I hope there's gonna be much more for you guys. I mean, we're already talking about the next freestyle because I thought, well, now what am I supposed to do? Let's do another freestyle record, right?
And,
At
and I
least,
got some
but
people for you too. If you need some producers, I got some.
it
That
would be cool. I'm down, So, again, just look out for that Spanish mix. It's coming. It is coming, and I mean, again, I can't find the words. I'm overwhelmed and I'm excited, guys. And hopefully I can get out past, to some of the US cities to see some of you guys and if not, we're going to try to get this record to as many people as we can and fill
well,
that little freestyle void.
thank you for considering me, and thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Thank you.
My name is CPR Jose Ortiz. This is the Queen of Canadian Freestyle. That I gave her that title, okay, but it's facts, right? Elissa, thank you so much for being here. And remember, folks, it's not who you love, it's how. We'll talk to you soon.